everything you touch seems to make noise. Plus it's just crazy thick out here. Trying to get that way to a creek called Neblets Creek, I think it's called. It's about a quarter mile that way. Now we just gotta wait. Hopefully the rain holds off tomorrow morning. We'll find out. There'll be a lot of rain coming in tomorrow, so we'll see. Yeah, I suddenly realized that I had to bring a spoon with me. That's okay though. That's okay. Yeah, I'm an hour and a half from home. So I gotta make do. Tonight I'm gonna tell a very interesting story. True story. Might be ready. It happened what do we think? About 2008, so it's about what, 14, 15 years ago, something like that. So yeah, like this is okay. I got me some Frito scoops. That's when I want to way to eat chili. It should be pretty hot, I think, right now. I think. Get in there. There was a young man out here about 14 years ago, doing some hunting, and he was going down that same dirt road to get to his little campsite like where I'm at right now. Out here is pretty primitive. There's no toilets, no power, no running water. You just sort of, if you don't bring it, you don't bring it. I mean, it's not going to be about it for you. So he was heading out here. He noticed as he was getting near his campsite, where he wanted to camp out at, he noticed a tent was set up already at one little camping area to the left-hand side of the road. This little tent, and a Honda Civic was sitting there, and sort of out of place. You know, a lot of times this time of year, people are hunting. Both times they're in trucks. You don't see too many small sedans out here. We got a lot of rain this week, and the ground is pretty smushy. Getting more rain tonight, and so yeah, you can get stuck out here pretty fast. Anyway, so he was going up there. He noticed the tent and the little Honda Civic. He made it to his campsite. You know, put up his tent and everything, and sort of got his little life together. What a few days. That morning, he said he decided to go out and go hunting. A lot of times, you don't you try to go a morning and then evening. During the day, I guess you could, but a lot of times the deer and the hogs sort of bed down and sort of get quiet during the middle of the day. But yeah, he decided to go hunting. He went out and really wasn't seeing much of anything. A lot of times you see scrapes on the ground or scrapes in the trees where bucks are clawing around and messing around, sitting in trees and stuff. He didn't see much too many prints or any kind of signs of deer. No hog signs or anything. But he spent most of the morning just sort of just try to scout things out, try to see where the deer are, where the deer are not. And he decided to go ahead and sort of make its way to where the tent was. The tent was about, maybe a quarter mile from where his campsite was. So it really wasn't too crazy far. But he sort of in the woods, headed that direction. And it took him, I don't know, maybe an hourish. And he sort of walked up to the, out of the woods to almost the side of the tent and the car and everything. And he sort of called out, making sure no one don't want to. When it's hunting season, you don't want to startle no one. You don't want to walk up on someone's campsite and startle them. He had his rifle on him and everything. So he called out, and no one responded. Sort of walked up around the front of the tent. The tent was facing towards into the woods area, and not out where the service road would be. And which is, I don't know, it's not odd. I mean, I'm sort of facing to the woods myself. Where my camp is. So yeah, he got in front of the tent and everything. You noticed the tent was a little dilapidated looking. The campsite was it looked abandoned for most part. The campfire, the fire had burned out a long time ago. Nothing was hot, nothing was smoldering. It was cold. The Honda Civic, that was the weird one. Out here in the middle of nowhere, if you park a car long enough, there's enough pollen and sap and other debris falling off these trees that before you know it, your car or truck, you couldn't see through the windshield. But you notice the Honda had been there long enough to have a nice little film over the windshield and the top of the car and everything of pollen and this dust. The tires were getting a little low, a little squashy, so it hadn't moved in a while. So yeah, it was sort of weird. So he went ahead and made his way back out into the woods and back to his camp because it was already getting a little past noon. He wanted to go and get some food and get ready for that evening hunt. So he went back to his camp and got some food going. And that evening went hunting. Again, didn't catch anything. I mean, it seemed like it was pretty dead. I don't know why. Just, sometimes it's how it is. Like today, this hunt for me today, I didn't see or see nothing out here. A few birds, some ravens, some crows out there. That's about it. Anyway, so he hunted about sundown, and he made his way back to his little campsite. A little fire going, got some food, food cooking up, and he ate, and I guess he didn't really think too much about the car and the tent. Which is odd. I mean, people do hunt. I knew a guy in Florida who had a purple Metro Geo. He went hunting all the time, and he'll get a hog or something, throw the hog in the hatchback, back to the car and drive it home. So it's not, it's not out of the unheard of to be hunting in a Honda. But yeah, it was weird. Anyway, so he came back, got his food going. Heat his food up, sat by the fire. This night here, I mean, it's just probably low 60s, high 50s. Not that cold here. Last year was pretty cold. That year, it was cold enough to have frost on the ground. It was pretty cold outside. So he had a good sized fire going. And I believe it was that evening or that night, it had forecast for this part of the Sam Houston National Forest, which is north of Houston, to have possible showers and some possible sleet. No snow, just sleet, icy rain. Anyway, he ate his food, and it was about, 10-ish. 10 o'clock or so, and he decided to, go ahead and turn in. Out here, when it gets dark, especially no phone signal, especially back in those days, because back in those days, iPhones and stuff that was, Samsungs, smartphones wasn't as common 14 years ago as they are now. But yeah, when the sun goes down, pretty much, if you're in a group, you can talk and tell stories, play cards or whatever. By yourself, there's not much to do. You eat your food. Maybe you can, if you brought a book, read a book. And but then probably maybe plan a little bit for next morning's hunt, and you sleep. So it's already all you can do. Anyway, that night he lay down, and not sure what time it was. It had to be early. It had to be early morning. Maybe 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Something in that neighborhood. It was cold. It was late. It was cold that night. The fire had died out, and when you're sleeping, it's just just let it die out. Not a big deal. But anyway, he was sound asleep in a sleeping bag in his little tent. A little bitty tent too. Little, it advertised as a 2-person tent, but his head was hitting the top of the tent and feet were hitting the other side of the tent. He was too big for the tent. It was like more of a kid's tent than anything else. But that night around 1 in the morning or so, he could have swore someone out in the woods called his name. And he sort of woke up and he was startled. And a lot of times out here in the woods, I'm hearing crickets and stuff, out in the woods you have coyotes and stuff. Things will make noises, and in a dead of sleep, you think you heard your name, and all you heard was a coyote yapping or something. So anyway, he sort of woke right up. He's thinking, did I just hear did someone call my name out in the woods? Because it sounded like it was out in the woods, someone calling his name. So he laid there a little bit, and just sort of logically thinking maybe just his imagination. Again, this is a random sound that your brain translates into a word or something like that. So he sort of dozed off back to sleep. And sure enough, no idea how many minutes or whatever seconds, but he woke straight up again. And this time it was closer. He could have swore someone yelled his name out in the woods. And this time it seemed closer. It wasn't as far as the first time. This one seemed a bit closer. So he sat there and like, did I hear that, or again is that his coyotes and making a yapping noise out in the woods? Just sound like his name being called out in the woods. So he sat there for a minute, for more than a minute, not sure how to process what's going on. Again, it was cold outside. He could hear little light rain and sleet, tapping on top of his tent. It was raining and sleeting, a little icy out there. It was cold. It was cold out there. So he said instead of climbing out of his sleeping bag and seeing what's going on, he just stayed put. And of course, it didn't take too much time for him to just doze back off. This is, I guess, like 1, 2 in the morning, something like that. And then something yelled his name, and it was so close to my ears that my ears rang, and that made me sit straight up in bed, straight up in my tent. I was sitting on the ground in my tent. Whatever it was so loud that my ears actually had a ring to them. It was like someone yelling right at your face. And the tent was so small. Again, when I was laying down, the top of my head was bulging out one side of the tent, and my feet were poking out the other side of my tent almost. That's how small the tent was. No matter how you lay, catty corner or what, the tent was it's for children. It's compact, small. That's why I got it. It was small, easy to pack around. Anyway, yeah, I don't know what that was. I stood up, and I sort of sat there just You know, it's one thing to imagine, to your brain imagine something. You know, you get coyotes or whatever in the woods, yapping and stuff, and you think you hear something. It's different to hear it and you have your hear it that loud to you by your, like someone had knelt down next to my head and on the outside of the tent and yelled my name. So I sat there and I just sat real still. Nothing I could do. I had my handgun. My rifle was in my truck, unfortunately. I had my handgun next to me, and I had that in my hands. And my tent had it was like a mesh. I don't know, like a mesh, like a little. It's like a tent with a little rain cover, then mesh you can see through. Anyway, looking out that mesh, and it was dark. I mean, again, it was overcast. It was raining sleet, a little bit of ice. I didn't see any moon. You know, I don't remember if the moon was even out that night. But I was looking through this mesh, and even though it's dark out here, like right now it's dark, I can see the sky, and the sky is lighter than the trees, so I can see the silhouette of the trees. So looking through this mesh, I could see what looked like something was standing there. I just don't know what it was. It was standing over the tent looking down through the mesh. And all you could see was that like here the sky is cloudy now. As I'm speaking now, I can see trees, I can see silhouettes. Because even though it's cloudy, the sky is again lighter than the darkness of the trees. So looking at this through the mesh, I could see someone just, it sounded like someone just, it looked like someone just standing there. Didn't hear no noise, didn't hear crunching, which is also hard to do out here. Out here, there's so much pine needles and things in the ground, and you cannot walk through these woods without crunching on something. It's very hard to hunt out here because it's so noisy out here. Anyway, so I don't remember exactly how long I stood up looking at that shape. I do remember eventually I did sort of ball up into a little fetus position and ball up. I don't want my head touching that tent, you know, or my feet touching the tent. I would probably lose my mind if I'm sitting there and something touches the top of my head on the outside of that tent. I would have lost my mind. I probably would have been spraying bullets every direction in the world. But eventually, I did fall back to sleep, and I woke up that morning. I had my alarm set, of course, for before sunrise, so I get back out in the my little hunting spot. The alarm went off, and I just sort of chose to sit there in bed, sit there in my sleeping bag, and not move. I did not want to get out of that tent. I didn't want to do anything. The sun slowly came up. And then once I could see, sunlight peeking through the little mesh in the tent. I unzipped it and walked out, and of course it was frost everywhere, and so I decided to go ahead and pack it up and head out because I didn't want no more of that stuff. So I went ahead, packed the tent up. It was frosty outside. I had frost on the ground, and my little water bottle had a little bit of ice in it. I filmed ice sitting on top, and I packed everything up, packed the tent up, and hopped in my truck. And on the way out, I noticed on the right, now it's the right hand side, where that little tent in the Honda was. There was some game wardens and I guess police out there in a tow truck. So I was gonna just drive on out. I had enough of that. And I decided to go ahead and pull in that little camp area and hop out. Saying I was just curious. I had to ask him about the tent, about the tent, because I told him I stopped by there the day before, and nobody was here. It looked like it had been abandoned. The tent was sort of dilapidated, and the campfire was long time extinguished. And I said the car was pretty like it's been there for a while. And they told me that a few hunters had reported that car out there almost 3 weeks before that. and we don't know how long it's been out there. But someone, I guess the day before or so, or had reported it before I had gotten there, and it just so happened I was heading out, and they were there towing the car, getting on a tow truck and taking the tent down. The person, they said, pitched a tent, put the car there, and just hasn't been found. They never found a person. I'm not sure if the person just walked off when hunting, and who knows what happened. Who knows what happened? But they towed the car and put the tent down, and so I drove on off, went back home. No point in me sitting around. And over the years, I sort of try to keep track of the San Jacinto records and stuff. And as far as I know, and I could have missed. I don't know. I could have missed it. As far as I know, he's never been found, or a person or persons has never, or at least no bodies have ever been found in here as of now. And that was about about a quarter mile that way, I guess. My campsite was over here. Yeah, about that way. About a quarter mile that way. So yeah, that's one of the most craziest things I ever had out here. I've camped and hunted out here a lot and never had anything weird, but that one was beyond weird. So yep, that's my story for tonight. Yeah, tomorrow I wanted to go out tomorrow morning and do some hunting, but I know the weather is supposed to be a little rough, starting about 3-4 o'clock in the morning. So depending on how much rain we get here, that'll tell me if I want to go hunting or not, or if I want to pack up and just head home. Supposed to be raining pretty much all day. And out here, once it starts raining and you're stuck out off these dirt roads back here, you still need to get out of this area, because it's a little bit of rain, it gets mushy, and I don't want to get stuck out here because I don't got cell phone service, and that's going to be about a 3-mile hike just to the main highway. And then I got to find, hopefully get cell phone service there, and or find someone who has a phone. When I drove over here this morning, I didn't see anyone camping. As far as I know, I'm the only one out here. I didn't see no little campsite, so anyone camping out here. So yeah, I probably should have stayed home. But I had to come out here, do some November hunting. That's my story, and again, we'll see what happens tomorrow with the weather and everything. So right now it's cloudy. I don't see no stars. Yeah, a few gaps in the cloud, but yeah, it's cloudy. I'll be getting in around 3 o'clock in the morning. So we'll see. I'm trying to get out of here before the rain comes in. Yeah, you can. Right now, I have my high beams on right now, with no lights at all. You can see how dark it is out here. Gonna go ahead and head home. Once it starts raining, this road here becomes just a mess. So, trying to get out of here before rain comes in. It'll be raining all the way up to Friday, I think. Friday or Saturday. So